Yankees Boston game.
Well, we'd rather be here.
Couple of people.
If you weren't here.
We're going to get a baseball fan here. That's okay here. Would anybody be for New York? Are there any New York fans? Okay, so you guys, I'm glad you guys, and there are a lot of Boston fans here, I'm assuming, right? But this is a great example of how societies can live with each other safely. I see New York people sitting among Boston people. I don't see any blood. I see very little blood.
Living together.
No fisticuffs.
Yet.
Well, I know, but I mean, I know, for example, I know that you're drunk right now, and yet still not fighting. That's impressive. Good for you. Well done. So stage diving. Lindbergh. Not afraid to stage dive.
At karaoke.
Anybody see that coming? No. Yeah, exactly. Say it again?
Not till we fell on us, we didn't see it.
Yeah, well, there you go. Just keep your heads up. It's a karaoke convention. I mean, a karaoke party. Anything can happen. Is anybody here having their first convention? Yeah. There's a lot, yeah. Holy crap. Anybody here not having their first convention? Yeah, you guys are way outnumbered. A lot of first timers here. I love that. That's awesome. This guy follows me everywhere. Every convention, he's there. It's weird. That's cool. So are you guys enjoying your first convention? That's pretty awesome. Yeah, okay, well, why this one? Are you guys all locals? Is everybody from Massachusetts who decided to work? You figure,
no, we've
I'm going to New York or New Jersey. That's you, come here. So here we are. We had to come to your town.
We've been waiting.
Say it again?
For my birthday week.
They all came for your birthday week? You throw a hell of a party. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
When's your actual birthday?
August 2nd.
August 2nd. How old are you?
21.
21! Oh my God, I turned 21. A while ago.
21 years ago.
We have so much in common. Did you go to the karaoke party?
I did.
Did you sing?
I did go. I was going to be up.
You didn't go to the karaoke party?
No, she went. She didn't go up.
He wasn't up yet.
Oh, you didn't get up to do your thing. Okay, I got it. This is your chance. It's a shame that a girl on her birthday weekend didn't get to take the stage, am I right? Yeah. Now she gets to take the stage. What's your name?
Sally.
Sally. Guys, from your hearts, on the count of 3.
That's 2.
1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Let me hear it.
Happy birthday, dear Sally. Happy birthday to you.
Sally! 21. Happy birthday. It's like Shakey's Pizza here. We do birthdays, we're a traveling act. We do it all. I'm up here and I'm just yapping my head off, but if anybody has any questions, by the way, I don't want to kill your moment, so, you know, go to the mic if you have any thoughts, feelings, concerns I can help you with. Taxes, simple math. This is great. Growing up, pink hair.
Did you come up with a question?
Totally got cat. That's a wig, right? Okay.
Did you?
Let's start with you. What's up?
Retardedly long, I would go standing.
Hi, how are you?
But if it
You're wearing a Coca-Cola shirt that I find offensive. So brazenly disrespectful. I know you did. Okay, what can I do for you?
Alright, Mystery Spot was one of my favorite episodes. Hysterical, I could watch it a million times over. But I also liked it because it was funny, but then it was serious. And you played a huge role in turning it into a serious episode. I was wondering, as an actor, as you read that script, knowing that your character's been the funny character, the trickster, and you read that script and it turned really serious to you, how did you feel about that? And you know, what did what did you think in preparing for the seriousness part of the trickster?
So this, we were talking specifically about Mystery Spot where I'm talking to Sam about, you know, you're going to learn to live without Dean and that scene. I actually really like it. I think that's a really great device when they can take you down one road and then make a sharp right, you know? And I don't think it was totally out of the blue because so much of that episode, it was really funny. But it was really funny in a very dark way. It's Dean getting killed over and over again. So, you know, it's already taking you down this sort of dark road of, this is what this is. From an acting standpoint, it's fantastic. I do a lot of both in my career. I mean, I do a lot of drama shows, I do a lot of lighter work, but you don't usually get to marry the two in one show, in one episode. So it was really fun to be able to do both. You really get to use the instrument, you know, when you get to do that kind of thing. And in Mystery Spot, I actually have precious little to do. The character plays Eddie, but I'm a gray-haired old man for most of it. You know what I mean? So really, Richard the actor, I didn't really do much in the episode, so it was a really fun scene for me to do, giving him a hard time. And I also think thematically there's a lot of interesting things about it, but I really like being able to play that turn. And you asked me about the preparation for it. I don't think there's any really, and this is maybe just me, but I don't prepare for something like that any differently than I do for the other scenes that are funny. Because to me, anything that I do as an actor, I just try to do very grounded. Now, that may sound bizarre if I'm playing a trickster or a character that's doing something that is actually physically impossible. But it's not physically impossible to him. You know, so the character that I'm playing, it's all doable in his universe, so I just always try to keep whatever it is grounded. And that, when you do that, then you can kind of turn, when you're grounded, you can spin 360 degrees. So you can kind of do whatever you do. If you create the universe, you know, if we believe that stormtroopers and lightsabers exist, then anything that happens within that universe makes sense. And so I think the same thing happens for Supernatural in general, for a lot of the characters they have in. And for me as an actor doing the trickster, I think that is why scenes like that work and changing channels work, because once you commit and establish really effectively that character, then you can kind of spin any way you want, and it comes from an honest place.
Awesome, thank you.
Go have a Pepsi. Thank you for another question. Yes, anyway.
Two quick questions, actually. Trickster being written as it was, how much of yourself and your obvious sense of humor did you put into him? And two, how familiar with Supernatural were you before you started the show?
Okay, the question was, how much of my own sense of humor did I infuse into the trickster, and how familiar was I with the show? Let me answer the second question first. Never even heard of the show when I got cast. Didn't know anything about the show, didn't even read for the show. Got offered the show, said, hey, you want to go to Vancouver and do the show called Supernatural? I said, great. I said, what's the role? They said, you play a janitor. I said, okay. Sure, I can sweep, you know. And so I didn't read the script, I was on the airplane to Vancouver. And I'm reading the script and I was like, yeah, I'm a janitor, okay. Oh, I'm a janitor with powers. That's nothing like the janitor at my school. So then I realized what the show was. And I've told this story before, but I'm going to tell it again, because it was a very funny experience for me. When I arrived, I'm thinking, oh, this is a very different show than I thought it was. I'm not really a janitor at all. When I get up there, I'll be able to have conversations with everybody and figure out what the tone of the show is. And we arrive, and it's a first-time director who hadn't directed the show before, and the two guys, Sharon and Jensen, and we go to the production office, and we're going to do a conference call with the writers and everybody back in Los Angeles. So we read the whole script to a speakerphone. You know, we all sit around and read the script. And after the read-through, they start talking about what they want the script to be like, what they want the episode to be like, because it was a bit of a venture for them. It was going heavy into comedy, and they wanted to be sure they stayed on point. But the only adjective or adverb they used was supernatural. So they said, now don't forget to be real supernaturalistic here and do that scene supernaturally, and let's not lose the supernatural tone. And I'm thinking, you know, another word would help me here, because I don't know the show. So you're not helping me, guys. And so the entire conversation, I was like, I have no idea what the hell just happened. And the first scene I shot was sitting in the auditorium watching Dean get pummeled by women in their skivvies.
Nice.
Not a bad day at the office. And I remember just sitting up, and I was the first shot, so they're shooting me first, walking in and doing the whole thing. And I thought, well, here goes nothing, because I don't know what the show is. They're only using the verb supernatural. So I'll just go with this and see if they like it. Which leads to the second answer. How much of me did I infuse in there? I think anytime you play a character, a lot of you is in the, you know, in the character. It naturally is. But, that said, that's not a show that you improv on. I wasn't making up lines of dialogue. Anything I said is written. I mean, there's a couple of scenes maybe where I'm clapping and in the auditorium and reacting to Dean's lines, where I'm like, yeah, I love that scene. That's me improvising, but it's very minor. But all the actual dialogue is all word for word on the page. They do a great job of drawing their maps, and they don't need actors deciding to go down a different road. So, and you don't really have time for that in a show like that anyway. It's so difficult to get it right with what's written that to venture off that is only to cause problems, not help. But they also set it up really well, so it didn't need improvising. And so the answer is 0 in terms of the dialogue. That was all their words. But just by nature of the job, I mean, I would say I brought Richard Speight to any character I play. Because you just do. You infuse it. You know, you can only pull from what you know or what you learn, and that's innately part of yourself. So there's a lot of you in there. My sense of humor for the trickster, you know, he has my comic timing because that's my comic timing, but, you know, the way he uses it, that's all them.
Well, I would just say the role is perfectly matched for you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
First, I just want to say I love your Pepsi Max commercials. They're hilarious.
Thank you.
But I just
Somebody doesn't.
But I just wanted to ask you, seeing that you're not in Supernatural currently, hopefully you get to come back, but what are your upcoming projects? I know I heard a little something that you twittered about your road to Appomattox.
Right. She's asked me what my upcoming projects are, and the one that I'm involved with in its pre-production stages right now is a Civil War miniseries called To Appomattox, which I'm very excited about. I'm a big war buff. Yeah, big war buff. Worked on Band of Brothers, which is a great educational experience. Thank you. And To Appomattox, in my opinion, is the Band of Brothers of the Civil War. It's brilliantly written, and it's got a phenomenal potential cast lined up. So that is, knock on wood, supposed to go into production in like the February, March of next year. So that would be that's kind of the biggest thing I have in the back burner right now. On the back burner right now. Other projects, you know, I don't really know. When you're doing episodic TV, you don't really find out that much in advance. I don't find out that much in advance with Supernatural, a show that I've actually done. Like, I don't know, people say, are you going to be on the show? And I say, I'll know about 4 days before they start shooting it if I'm on that show. Because they kind of decide and write the episode and then call and go, hey, are you around? And you go, yeah, sure. I hope I come back to Supernatural.
I would love to see it, and I hope to see you.
Well, thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you for the question. Hey.
Best karaoke host ever.
Oh, thank you. Is our microphone working? Is it? I feel like it's not. Let's see. I mean, we're all right here. There, let's try that.
I think, yeah.
There we go.
That was the sickest karaoke party I've ever been at.
Good. Appreciate that. And I bet you've been to some karaoke parties. I read about you.
That's a lie, that dog was dead when I got there. What I wanted to ask you was that Gabriel is one of the few angels that is mentioned in the Bible by name. And a lot of Christian, stories and stuff, Gabriel is the angel that comes to Mary and says, "You're going to bear the Messiah." Now, watching your Gabriel, you know,
I couldn't deliver that news. I couldn't go see Mary.
well, you know, it comes off in the Bible. It's all, oh, you know, it's all blessed are you and all this stuff like that. And I'm just thinking, I've been like, how would he have done it? It wouldn't have been like this.
No, honestly, I probably would have faxed her. Or tweeted it. Funny story, when changing channels came up, that was a big, very big departure from the previous Trickster episodes. So I go, oh crap, I'm an archangel. Back to the drawing board. And so I called production, and they put me in touch with Jeremy Carver, who wrote the episode. Great writer, great writer. And Jeremy and I spoke on the phone, and I said, okay, Jeremy, listen, man, I've been doing all this research, and you know, I was raised going to church, and a little bit about the Bible, and did some homework before I spoke to him, and I'm referencing all the things you're referencing, like I know he did this, that, and the other, and I know that his role was here, and this, and so how do we infuse that into what's going on? And Jeremy goes, well, we don't so much go by the Bible. And I said, really? I said, okay, and keep in mind, I hadn't seen any episodes that season. So he said, let me send you some episodes. So he sends me 10 episodes, and it's Lilith on the, you know, swirling on the altar and him sucking blood. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess we're not really going with the traditional biblical retelling Gabriel. So they do their own thing. They reinvent their own wheels over there.
And we really, really want you back. Really.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I really want to be back too. But you know, you just never know what they have, what they have planned. So if it works in the greater scheme of their story, hopefully they'll make it happen.
Hey.
Hello.
Are you a big baseball fan? And was it really cool to meet all those Hall of Famers in the Pepsi commercials?
Okay. I did for those who don't know, one of the Pepsi Max commercials they did had a lot of great baseball players in it. This is what annoys all my friends. I'm not a giant baseball fan. Which just pissed them off to no end. Because most of my friends are. And I got, like, I don't get phone calls. You do jobs for people, or do jobs, I mean, and people see your work, and you might get a text from a buddy going, hey, good job on that show, or saw you on this, good work. Not for that commercial. I get phone calls from guys going, really? Really? You? Oh! What a waste! And they hang up. Jimmy Matteo, who played Perconti in Band of Brothers, is the biggest Yankees fan I've ever met. Not physically the biggest Yankees fan you've ever met, but he's got the tattoo, and he's from the Bronx, and the whole thing. And he's like, seriously, CC Sabathia, seriously, you? And I got CC Sabathia. It turns out was a super nice guy. CC Sabathia, large chap, really nice dude. Also liked Band of Brothers. So I was going. I'm a co-producer of a film that's called Leave, that's out playing festivals right now, and it's with Frank John Hughes and Rick Gomez, who are also from Band of Brothers. So I said, hey, would you sign a couple of baseballs for these guys, because they're giant fans? He's like, yes, I will. So he autographed some baseballs for me to give to the guys, and I didn't get one for Jimmy Matteo, because he wasn't there doing Leave, and he's like, seriously, really? You gave a ball to Mike Haggerty, who doesn't know the damn team from, So I think my baseball commercial actually has made, I've lost more friendships over that than anything else. I mean, I'm from Nashville. We didn't have a baseball team. We had, you know, minor league ball, but we didn't have pro ball. But I knew who, like, Raleigh Fingers and Ozzie Smith and Randy Johnson. The other thing that was funny about that was, I was doing a project for my nephew. My cousin sent me, does anybody remember the book Flat Stanley? Does that mean anybody remember? Well, they were reading this, and he's in first grade. And so he had to pick a family member who lived out of state. They lived in South Carolina. So they had to pick a family member to send Flat Thomas. You know, he had made a flat version of himself and mail it to me, and I was supposed to take it around my city or to work or whatever. So I got it, and I happened to be going down to Tampa to do this commercial. So Flat Thomas got his picture with 11 Hall of Famers. And my favorite one is 6'11" Randy Johnson and laminated 12-inch Flat Thomas sitting there. And I sent it to him for his project, right? Did the whole report and sent it to him. Thomas doesn't really care, but his dad took a shit. He's like, what? Holy cow. So but it was a great experience. Those guys are also, I mean, it was really cool to meet them. I knew a lot of what I knew the older players. I knew like the Ozzie Smiths and those guys, because when I was a kid, I knew all them, and it was fun meeting them. And Raleigh Thinker still has the mustache, which made me happy. Thank you for the question. Yes?
Okay, Changing Channels is probably my favorite Gabriel episode ever.
Thank you.
Actually, it's a two-part question. What are some of your guilty pleasure TV shows?
Oh, but my guilty pleasure TV shows? Judge Judy. I actually TiVo Judge Judy or DVR it, whatever kids are saying these days. I record it, watch myself some Judy. And then, honestly, I'm a really boring TV watcher. I watch a lot of news. I know, right, loser? But somebody's got to. Somebody's got to watch the American economy collapse in real time. But I think that's like Judge Judy was my darkest secret. Don't tell anybody. Perfect.
And what's your favorite movie quote?
My favorite movie quote? Ooh, that's a tough one. Big movie fan. Let me think about this for a second. What's yours? Tell me yours, because you must have one. Why, is yours really dirty or something? Yeah. Okay, let's go. No, come up here. You got such a reaction, I feel like you need a better presentation. So what's your name?
Nikki.
Nikki? Nikki is now going to give you her favorite, and dare I say dirty, movie quote. I'm going to be over here.
Okay, as you guys know, it's from Heather's, and it's, well, fuck me gently with a chainsaw.
Classy. Great. You don't have that tattooed anywhere, do you? Just a Harry Potter tattoo? Is it a quote or is it actually Harry Potter? What? Okay, there you go. Gotcha. There's so many great, I've been a movie buff my whole life that I don't know if there's one quote that sticks out to me. But if you hadn't asked me, like I have 10 that float around in my head. I quote a lot of Simpsons in my daily life. That's a quotable show. One of my favorite quotes in that show, Monty Burns, when Homer is trying to lose weight, and Montgomery Burns sees him, and Homer's all proud because he feels like he's lost a few pounds, and Montgomery Burns goes, "Wait a minute. Are you saying you're pleased with your physical appearance? My friend, you're the largest thing I've ever seen, and I've been on safari."
I just have a question about Band of Brothers, if I could.
Sure.
I think that's the first thing I saw you in, and that's one of my favorite performances. How do you go from the different approaches now to
go plug my laptop in.
Janitor, trickster, angelic
I'm just gonna go
characters,
to the stage.
being in a project about real people and real times, and how do you go from the fantasy to reality?
Okay, here's the difference. The difference is there's no difference whatsoever. Be honest, because both of them are real. You know, when you're playing a character, you're watching a show that's sci-fi, but when you're acting it, you're not acting sci-fi, or you're not acting genre. You're not acting like again, what I was saying earlier. I treat it as a real person or a real guy, so that's what he does. That's his lifestyle. That's his behavior. The trickster, I mean, it's no different than. I mean, quite frankly, some of the stuff the trickster does is a lot less crazy to me than jumping out of an airplane over German-occupied France in 1944. You know what I mean? That's flipping nuts. So there's a whole different psychology you get into playing a real guy who did stuff, but it's not, from an acting standpoint, it's not different. From an acting standpoint, it's just playing it as true and as honest as you can. Now, I will say this, there's a lot of wiggle room playing a trickster, because there's not a trickster who's gonna watch it and go, that's not what I do. You know? He got it all wrong. When I have aliens probe a guy, but you do run that risk when you're playing a real man, especially a real man who's passed away, that he only lives in the memory of his fellow soldiers and family members. So the job for Band of Brothers, for everybody, was not to be a good actor. It was to get out of the way. Because the story was there, the guys did it. Just do it. Just do it right, and let their actions tell the story, not some interpretation of their actions. So that was a whole different project. It was about saying, let's get the hell out of the way and let their actual story be told. Thank you. Hello.
Hi. So I'm just gonna, make an assumption that your favorite dance move is the jerk.
When Matt's doing it.
So my question is,
what's your favorite dance move Matt does?
My favorite dance move? Yeah, I like the jerk.
What's your favorite dance move, period?
Period? Oh, God.
You know where it might be easier to think about this? Up here. This is important, I think, because Matt needs new dance moves, and you'll see this on YouTube. And you represent America's youth. What's your name?
I'm Jess.
Jess? All right, Jess, what is your favorite dance move?
Oh my God, I don't,
not so easy being up here, is it?
I like the Macarena because it's easy.
It is easy. Okay, so, do you want to do it by yourself, or do you want your friend with you? Okay, there you go. Now, do we have to have music, or should we just all clap and you do it, or you want to?
Will you sing it?
I don't know if I can. Can anybody sing the Macarena? It's kind of a foreign language, isn't it? Say it again?
She said she can sing the Macarena.
You can sing the Macarena? This is going to be the greatest piece of Q&A entertainment of all time. Yeah, come on up here, Coca-Cola. Get up here. I'm giving you the mic. You're going to sing the Macarena while you dance the Macarena. Ladies and gentlemen, the Macarena triplets.